after we saw what happened in the US market overnight. We saw a 4% cut on Nasdaq, S&P 500 clocking its worst session in as many as 2 years. So yes, it was a very wobbly start, but we made a good recovery. We saw a 200-point recovery from the days, though the mid cap index as well, yet in the broader end of the markets staged a very good comeback after a weak start. So yes, things are okay. We have managed to withstand the global gloom, at least today. I think much of the pessimism was preempted by us yesterday. I think because yesterday we saw the Nifty slipping below that 22,450 mark as well. But of course, for now we are fine, even though we had a wobbly start. Look at the Nifty, Yatin, 22,500, just a shade below that level. The Sensex as well saw a very good 480, 500 point kind of a recovery. Mid cap index ended with gains of 0.7% or thereabouts. And IT pack, that was, seeing deep cuts, but even that managed to recover almost 500 to 550 points from the day's low. What did well today, Yatin, was the realty pack shining bright, 3.5% uptick on the realty index. Oil and gas as well, because Brent, mind you, is below $69 as well. It was somewhere around $68 a barrel, and that bode well for OMCs and energy pack. So we saw the oil and gas index also gaining in excess of 1%. Metals, pharma, these were some of the other sectors that lent support. On the other hand, of course, banks were down. No points for guessing. It was IndusInd Bank that was dragging the bank Nifty lower. IndusInd Bank, Yatin, 27% crash, right?
Yes, and
So,
20,000 crores kind of a market cap loss intraday. It is astonishing to see that the market capitalization of Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank, was almost 50,000 crores today.
Okay.
So, given the fact that there has been a steep correction in IndusInd Bank, almost 55%, in a 1 year base, market capitalization from almost, 1.5 lakh crores in the peak today was, much below that 75,000 crores mark. So, yes, intraday, nobody believed that, the steepness of the fall could be this high. But yes, 655 on your screens, 27% lower.
That's true, Yatin.
Massive F&O volume.
Right. On a 1 year basis, the stock has literally halved. So yes, that was the kind of fall. We'll talk about the stock in just a bit. But aside of that, IT stocks, of course, were in a spot of bother. So Infosys, top laggard. Among the top laggards, M&M, Bajaj Finserv, Power Grid. These were some of the other stocks that weren't doing all that well. But what did well was Trent, Yatin. It has its days. We've seen a prolonged sell-off on shares of Trent, but in the middle, we do end up seeing the stock gaining here and there. So today was a good session for Trent. It was the top Nifty gainer. BPCL, of course, the crude comfort. Sun Pharma, ICICI Bank, Bharti Airtel, and Hero Moto. These were some of the other notable gainers on the index. But Yatin, quite a few buzzers when it comes to the broader end of the markets as well. Take us through some of them.
So, if you look at the Nifty 500, clearly the reaction has been mixed today. But talking about Indegene, Tata Communications after the ICICI security upgrade, which we'll talk about it later in the show, but both of these stocks are moving well. 14% higher for Indegene and almost a 9% gain coming in for Tata Communications post that ICICI securities upgrade. Other stocks, so yesterday we spoke about Bharti Hexaware, Nandita, that stock was up nearly 8.5%. Paytm also doing well in the F&O trade, 7% higher for that one. But Nuvama, Triveni Turbine, Zensar Technologies, City Union Bank are the other stocks which have lost anywhere between 5 to 8% in trade today.
All right, those were the movers and shakers. Of course, Bharti Hexaware we spoke about. That stock was doing well, and Tata Communications as well, among the top gainers on the Nifty 500 index. But of course, I don't know, you'll call it the accident of the day.
Accident of the day.
Right? A 27% cut on shares of IndusInd. In fact, it hit a fresh 52-week low below the 650 mark, 649. That was the kind of low that we saw on the stock. Biggest fall on record. In fact, 18 to 20,000 crore rupees wiped off, as Yatin mentioned, from the market cap. Yesterday it was the CEO extension, the tenure for 1 year instead of 3 years that was weighing in on the stock. And we were discussing that, the worst may be over. We've seen a big fall on the stock any which ways. But today, of course, all of that was negated and we saw another 27% cut. Of course, that is attributable to the accounting discrepancy that the company discovered during its internal audit, right? And, in the derivative portfolios of portfolio, Basically they miscalculated the cost that would come in terms of their forex
True.
transactions, and that of course is expected to hit somewhere around 2.4% of its
Net
net
worth.
worth,
Mhm.
which translates to somewhere around 1500 or 1600 crore rupees on the profitability front. So yes, it has a net worth of 65,000 crore rupees, and of course, as I mentioned, 1500 crore rupee hit on the PNL. The internal review had flagged off this issue. Stock, of course, has been under pressure amid a slew of downgrades, which we saw yesterday as well. And today as well, there were a slew of downgrades and target price cuts. Just going through some of them, Nuvama has downgraded the stock to reduce target price 750. Morgan Stanley, on the other hand, has an equal weight call on the stock. Target price is a little higher at 900 rupees. But Morgan Stanley has said that now with this development, visibility on the stock reduces further. There are downside risks to the numbers as well going forward post this disclosure. But most of the brokerages are saying that more than the profit and loss hit, profitability hit, it's the credibility of the bank that
True.
has been hit. But there are other concerns as well. Rising MFI slippages, margin contraction. These are some of the other issues. Aside of that, even mutual funds have taken a big hit, somewhere around 60,000 crore rupees, as the stock has plunged so much. Some of the notable mutual fund houses like ICICI Pru, HDFC Pru, these are the mutual funds that have the largest
Correct.
exposure to this stock. Of course, in the month of February as well, the stock had seen outflows of somewhere around 1,600 crore rupees or thereabouts. And of course, with today's fall, the outflows will only keep going up. Kotak report I was reading, they have cautioned against any further negative developments. Of course, brokerages have already pointed out that the stock could be in for a derating in the absence of visibility with respect to who the next CEO will be. And now with this, it further dents the
True.
reputation of the bank as well. And aside of that, if what kind of safeguards the bank puts in place, that will be something that may kind of keep act as a balm going forward. But even the promoter was on CNBC TV 18,
Yes.
Yatin. He's come out and quelled investor concerns. They've said that it's the management that has pointed out this discrepancy and not an external auditor. The first word on this discrepancy came in from the management. So the promoter has said that investors should respect the fact that management is transparent. They have also said that they weren't aware of this
Yes.
discrepancy earlier, and they will pump in capital if required. But Yatin, of course, major
Yes.
setbacks in the last 2 days. What have you picked up when you've spoken to experts?
So now, if you look at the calendar in
Hmm.
May 2024, the management, which is, the promoter group,
Hmm.
they were trying to increase their stake to up to 26%.
Hmm.
They got a conditional nod from RBI, not a final nod.
Hmm.
A lot of back and forth on that front. So investors got disappointed. Then we had the CFO resignation. Then the CEO tenure, which was supposed to get extended by 3 years, got only a 1 year, RBI approval. And 2 days after that, we have a 1,500 crore hole, which is probably going to impact not only the net interest margins but also the profitability moving forward. Obviously, the management also said that they could see some peak asset quality stress in the microfinance business, wherein the asset quality has deteriorated in the last 12 months from a gross NPA of nearly 4.5% odd. The gross NPAs of the MFI business have risen to 7.5% and still counting. It is not that it has peaked at 7.5%. There could be some further stress there. So yes, a lot of problems, a lot of resignations, a lot of back and forth on management. The promoter infusion still has not received final nod from RBI. So I think that has kept the street slightly skeptic. When it comes to the IndusInd Bank, valuation wise, Nandita, it is already below one-time book on a forward
Hmm.
basis. So yes, a lot of issues, but a 27% fall in IndusInd Bank today was an overreaction according to many analysts.
Hmm.
Let's see how does the stock shape up, given the fact that we have seen such a huge fall on the share price. Stock, clearly under pressure. 680 rupees when it got traded last.
Hmm.
And we have the book value, which is almost at 850 rupees. So nice 20% correction from the book value
Hmm.
for FY25 estimated earnings.
That's true, Yatin. But now the clarity will only emerge on this discrepancy issue by the end of the fourth quarter
Yes.
when the external report
Before
comes out.
31st March is what the management has said
Hmm.
the report will be
Yeah, so
public.
by the end of this fourth quarter, that is when we'll have some bit of clarity. But Street is expecting a loss now for the company in the fourth quarter as well, and margin, of course, is in a spot
Mm,
of bother, and
mm.
so is the MFI portfolio as well. But yeah, then Tata Communications was one of the big
Yes,
buzzers today
yes,
among the top
absolutely.
gainers on the Nifty 500 index. What are you
Yes,
picking up?
yes. So, ICICI Security has done a double upgrade on the stock of Tata Communications. The target has been increased from close to 1700 to now the new target 1840. Now, ICICI Securities believes that the free cash flow situation of Tata Communication is improving. Stock is undervalued. Not only that, the street is yet to bake a 3300 crore free cash flow generation with respect to the core connectivity income that will be there moving forward. Also, if you look at artificial intelligence and newer products, especially in the cloud ecosystems, that will drive the growth for Tata Communications moving forward. And obviously, if you look at the potential acquisitions, the kind of investments that the company has done, probably the street does not discount those benefits according to ICICI Securities. And post this upgrade report, nice 9-10% kind of move on stock of Tata Communications. In fact, the stock was one of the top FNO gainers in
Hmm.
trade today.
Right. Yet another stock that was, I think Tata Communications, right? It has corrected quite a bit, although
Yes, it has
recently,
corrected.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
recently it has seen a good reversal.
Hmm.
But on a 1 year basis, the stock
Hmm.
has shaved off somewhere around 25% or
True.
thereabouts. So, which is why I think brokerages feel valuations are looking attractive now. Another stock now, on my radar, that's Sun Pharma. The stock has been in news for the last couple of days. Of course, it has made a US acquisition. The stock was reacting yesterday as well, but some of the brokerages have reacted to it.
Hmm.
Positive views coming in. Because of that, the stock was among the top gainers on the Nifty today, almost a 3%
Hmm.
gain on Sun Pharma. It has, of course, acquired the NASDAQ listed Checkpoint Therapeutics for $355 million. And of course, this acquisition will further lend muscle to its specialty portfolio. The deal, of course, involves an upfront cash payment of $4.1 per share, and the transaction will be completed somewhere in the second half of 2025. Now, this acquisition expands the company's oncoderma offerings and marks its entry into PDL1 program, which it's an inhibitor that is effective against multiple cancers with fewer side effects. Now, of course, Checkpoint is a commercial stage company that develops novel treatments for patients with solid tumor cancers, and the acquisition includes FDA-approved treatment for advanced skin cancer. So, I think Sun Pharma already
Hmm.
has two products here,
Hmm.
and this particular acquisition and this product, this FDA approved treatment for advanced skin cancer, will only add to its portfolio. Now, Sun Pharma has been upgraded by ICICI Securities to buy from hold. Target price is at 1895 rupees, and the target price is based on 31 times FY27 EPS estimates.
Hmm.
Stock has, of course, corrected almost 10% in the last 2 months, which is why I think ICICI Securities feels that even the valuation is looking fairly attractive at the current juncture. Both Motilal Oswal and HDFC Securities have also reiterated the buy rating on the stock. Incred has a hold rating on the stock, target price of 1900 or thereabouts. Now, these positive views are coming in despite some of the challenges that Sun Pharma has been facing in terms of the US, its weak US sales trajectory, uptick in research and development expenses as well. We've seen some US FDA related issues also troubling
Yes.
some of these pharma majors, and now with this tariff issue, of course, things are a little hazy when it comes to the
Hmm.
outlook
Hmm.
for pharma
Hmm.
companies,
Hmm.
especially those with presence in US. But despite that, I think post this acquisition, brokerages have given positive views, given the fact that it has only added more muscle to its specialty product
You
portfolio.
and Sun Pharma is one of those
Hmm.
companies which have done a lot of acquisitions in the
Hmm.
past successfully.
Yeah.
Be it Taro, be
Hmm.
it a lot of these Israeli specialty,
Hmm.
drug companies, and now with this acquisition in the oncology
Hmm.
space, I think a lot of growth in the segment is expected. As you know, Sun Pharma has been talking about ramping up the specialty drug
Yeah.
portfolio. They've been talking about oncology. They've been talking about a whole host of growth areas.
Hmm.
And I think the kind of management acquisition prowess that we've seen in the past, probably, this could lead to a very successful kind of a momentum for their overall
Hmm.
growth portfolio moving forward.
All right, then that was about Sun Pharma, and we have managed to weather the global storm
Hmm.
pretty well today, although it was a roller coaster, so to say. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Of course, we have the US inflation data coming out tomorrow, Yatin, so that will also be in focus. And our markets, are back home as well. We will be
Yes.
watching out for inflation figures because it is expected to cool off to a 6-month low. That's the expectation. But yes, not a bad day. We ended it on a positive note. The Nifty around that 22,500 mark. So of course, traders and investors will be heaving a sigh of relief. Tomorrow is another day, and now the global texture is such that we have to take each day as it comes, really. But with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great evening and come back and join in tomorrow morning on Opening Bell at 9 a.m. Thank you. See you.
Tax money that is now controlled by Elon Musk. To be clearer, that is a coup. Women's right to bodily autonomy, immigrants' rights to be here. They make America great. Our economy is going to go so far down south if we get rid of our immigrants. So that's why I'm here fighting. I've seen a lot of hatred, whether it be towards trans, LGBTQ, Latinos, all types of communities have been there's just so much bias and hatred out there. I've been a victim of it. And I thought this was a perfect moment. History is being made right in front of me. I will come out here and I'll stand for what I believe in.
There has been so much legislation passed in the past couple weeks since January 20th. Unfortunately, a lot of it, we knew it was coming. If you read Project 2025, the writing was on the wall. It was all there. But now that we're all starting to really feel those effects and see, how bad it's getting, again, we need to get that gone. We need to get a hold of Washington again. We need to get people who are for the people.
Rights for all are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Rights for all are welcome here. All to fascism.
I felt like it was important to come today because there's just a lot impacting several minority communities. I'm a woman. I come from an immigrant family. I have chronic illnesses. Trans rights are also at stake right now, LGBTQ rights as well. And I care about all of that. So I wanted to come out and feel like my voice was heard and feel like I was actually doing an action.
Yes, the only minority that is ruining America is the billionaires. It's them. It's no one else except for them.
This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA.
I think the majority of this country is for abortion, is for equal opportunity for women who are pregnant, disabled people, veterans, just all the different minority communities that just get ignored by politicians. And so I'm here today to show my support.
I'm upset that I have to look at options for fleeing the country in order for my daughter to grow up with basic human rights.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
We need to push back. We need to enforce the laws that are on the books, that you can't just simply expand your powers as president simply by saying it and flaunting it and not obeying our very laws, our Constitution.
Impeach the felon! Impeach the felon! Impeach the felon! We are the people! We are the people! We are the people!
We want people to wake up, see what's actually happening. You know, if you voted for Trump, sorry, it's going to impact you too. Not going to do the told you so, but just figure out how we're going to fix this, because we got to come together. This is going to hurt us all.
I feel like the movement is growing. I mean, we've only had to deal with him for the last 16 days. So I think people are waking up to what we're faced with and are going to be coming into the streets.
All right, what? I'm an old lady. As well as actions here and in the future to make sure.
In 2016, you know, we didn't know what he was really going to do in office, but now we know. And yeah, I don't know. I can't understand how he got elected. I can't understand how people are okay with this. And I hope that people will start to push back before it's too late.
All right. No Trump, No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA.
Tax money that is now controlled by Elon Musk. To be clearer, that is a coup.
Women's right to bodily autonomy, immigrants' rights to be here. They make America great. Our economy is going to go so far down south if we get rid of our immigrants. So that's why I'm here fighting.
I've seen a lot of hatred, whether it be towards trans, LGBTQ, Latinos, all types of communities have been there's just so much bias and hatred out there. I've been a victim of it. And I thought this was a perfect moment. History is being made right in front of me. I will come out here and I'll stand for what I believe in.
There has been so much legislation passed in the past couple weeks since January 20th. Unfortunately, a lot of it we knew it was coming. If you read Project 2025, the writing was on the wall. It was all there. But now that we're all starting to really feel those effects and see, how bad it's getting, again, we need to get that gone. We need to get a hold of Washington again. We need to get people who are for the people.
Rights for all are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Rights for all are welcome here. No to fascism.
I felt like it was important to come today because there's just a lot impacting several minority communities. I'm a woman. I come from an immigrant family. I have chronic illnesses. Trans rights are also at stake right now, LGBTQ rights as well. And I care about all of that. So I wanted to come out and feel like my voice was heard and feel like I was actually doing an action.
Yes, the only minority that is ruining America is the billionaires. It's them. It's no one else except for them.
This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK. No fascist USA.
I think the majority of this country is for abortion, is for equal opportunity for women who are pregnant, disabled people, veterans, just all the different minority communities that just get ignored by politicians. And so I'm here today to show my support.